you too. Because while you might not have thrown your child in the fire, you did ritualistic stuff that is equivalent to that act right now. But I can get there. So let me just give you the rules first before I begin to expand on it. So verse 21 of Leviticus 18, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed, any of thy children pass through the fire. Do not sacrifice your children. Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord, right? Let's go straight to verse 24. Verse 24 says, defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these nations are, the nations are defiled, which I cast out. So he's talking about what he's telling them now. That's why I said we can read the entire chapter of Leviticus 18, because God is going to give them a whole list of things that they should not be doing. And guess what? More than 85% of what he's going to be saying to them is dealing with sexual laws when we come back to this, right? So God is saying now, these things that I'm telling you not to do, the Canaanites are doing this right now. And he said, I don't want you to do that. All right? Why? Listen to what he says in verse 24. Defile not yourself. No matter what defile means, it means to corrupt, it means to pollute, but a more vivid understanding of it, it means to change something or someone from their original. Before I was born, God has already blessed me with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places. I have everything I need spiritually to succeed physically according to the call of God on my life, right? According to what we have just read, he said, do not make no sacrifices to your children. Don't do that, because if you do that, you are going to defile the child. What does that mean? You are going to change them from the original. In other words, the sacrifice you're doing and the rituals that you're doing with this sacrifice, you're moving the plan of God. You're moving the package that was already upon their life to replace it with a demonic package. You don't look convinced. So let me break it down. But let me finish reading first. I can break it down to everyday English. Okay, so verse 24 says, defile not yourself. Do not corrupt yourself. Do not change what I've called you to become or to be in any of these things. For in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. He says the reason why I'm kicking the Canaanites out of Canaan is because everything I'm telling you not to do, that's what they're doing. And what you're going to read here is not only have they defiled and corrupt themselves, but because of the abominations, burying things on the land and doing foolishness, the land itself is also defiled or corrupt, or its original has been tainted. So verse 25 proved this of Leviticus 18. He says, and the land is defiled, therefore I do visit, God is saying, the iniquity thereof upon it. What iniquity? The sorcery that they were abusing the land with. I'm going to cause those spirits to run rampant in them. I'm going to give them the authority. In other words, this would be equivalent when Paul talked about in Romans 1, that if this is what they want, we can turn them over to a reprobate mind. All form of consciousness, of conviction, all of that is out of them. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it. Listen, and the land itself vomit out their inhabitants. So here's what he's also saying. He's saying the evidence of the land being defiled. You will never be able to prosper on this land. And let me show you the proof of that. Foreigners would come in and find oil on your land and charge you for the oil. Or whatever agreement they make with the state getting 10%, they getting 90%. Expatriates will come and have mediocre jobs that the locals could do. This is how you know a land is defiled. When your government, when those whom you've elected to look out for the people's interests, now have foreign investment coming in and ruling over your people, these are all evidence that the land is defiled. Now let's get back to the destiny of the child being altered after birth. Okay, so you said, Kevin, I read it and I saw it. First of all, I don't know no Molech to be serving no Molech. So let's get that out of the way first, all right? It ain't no way in the world I will take my child who I birthed in this world. No one could convince me to toss it in any fire. Well, that part of sacrifice, while it was extreme, that was only one way it could be done. Now let's bring it to modern day. And let me show you the equivalent of what you are doing to that same Molech situation. Remember what he said, do not sacrifice your children. And if you do it, you're going to defile them. You're going to change them from their original. So your ancestors, your village, your culture, okay, said to you that when a child is born, there are certain things that ought to be done. And the incentive to get you to do it is that whatever they're going to ask you to do, it is to cause them to be protected from the spirits. So what they're basically saying is that there are evil spirits out there, okay, that want to pounce on this child. And some of those spirits are even in human beings, using them to bring harm. So this ritual, this cultural thing that we're going to tell you to do is going to now prevent any future attack on this child. And that is the greatest lie ever. Because I would have just read to you the rules first. That if you engage in what they're saying, you're literally washing away what this child came in with the package to succeed and have it replaced with an evil package.